Accommodations and modifications. So these terms are frequently used interchangeably or incorrectly sometimes. So can you explain the basic difference between the two and give us some common examples of each?
I think the kind of overarching word is adaptations, right? So how can instruction be adapted? And the underlying goal being that how can it be adapted to ensure that the student is able to access the general education curriculum? And so accommodations are less intrusive, right? And that would be changing how the student is accessing the curriculum. It's not changing what they're learning, but it's changing how they are showing that they understand what's being taught to them, basically. And it can also be accommodating how the instruction is presented to them or the content is presented to them, but it's not changing what is being presented to them. Whereas modifications would in some way, shape, or form be altering either the instruction or how the student is responding. There's input and output, right? How it's being taught, the curriculum. So it's changing what the student is learning in some way, shape, or form. So we have accommodating, changing how they're accessing same content, modifying, changing what that content is.
Yeah, I think it would be really helpful for if you could give us a scenario, using an accommodation and then explain, what would have to happen for that to cross the line and become a modification.
In my mind, this is an easy one, but oftentimes there's for instance, reading or access to a novel that's being read or studied in a class. So an example of an accommodation could be that instead of reading that book, to themselves, they may have an audiobook or they may have it read aloud to them. Whereas a modification would be they have a modified version of that text. Maybe it's shorter chapters and it's really just getting straight to the point, the main idea of the text. And so that's really the difference between how you can accommodate access to that content and that novel versus completely modifying access to that content and that novel.